We are operational.
Okay, turn it on. I'll go out and come back in.
Okay, you go out and come back in. Use your best framer.
I'm in.
Oh, you're in. You know what podcast this is? Motherfucker, who the fuck's been in here eating candies?
Mm-hmm. You're the only motherfucker been in here.
No, man, I don't. This ain't dark chocolate. This is like some Willy Wonka packaging.
Like this is really
the kind of, well,
you know when I came in here,
a dairy milk out of here. I eat this one here.
I haven't had any candy, and is that gum? What was that? Oh, it's a little piece of hair.
Yeah, it's just a piece of hair.
No, I haven't had any candy in fucking months.
This is the dark chocolate I eat.
As a matter of fact, you know what the last candy I had was?
Hold on.
The day when we brought the Halloween candy home.
Oh, yeah. Halloween candy. It's still in the...
Actually, the last piece of candy I had, the wrapper is right here.
No, that's mine.
Good.
That's definitely not yours.
Okay.
3 Musketeers, that's all I eat.
Podcast episode 76. Today is Thursday, 5/14, April 4th. Email goes out tonight. By the time you hear this, it's probably too late. Although if you're listening to the podcast, you'll have a couple days advantage. Hats, multicam black, cockface hats. They're up on the website right now.
They look good.
International Burrito Day is tomorrow. So there is a Burrito Day pouch. I believe that is now on the website.
Will we include a burrito?
I don't think we're going to. Well, maybe we'll give them just a really fucking dried out tortilla.
Maybe a tortilla. We could do that. We got plenty of tortillas.
And they can add whatever they want to their own burrito. We just did toiletry bags and a bunch of fucking like highlighter color. What the fuck is that? It's crazy though. Like I look at them, I go, nobody's gonna buy a yellow toiletry bag. But I got motherfuckers asking about yellow toiletry bags. I didn't even fucking show a picture of them. There's a mole.
Yeah, I don't think you did because the yellow ones didn't get done till today. But we have those other two super bright colors.
What is that? Orange and
I think it's orange and pink, or orange and something else. So we got some
toiletry
bags. There's some pictures out there. If you're looking to brighten up your day, throw a little rainbow in there. We got the toiletry bag for you.
A little rainbow pride. All right, we'll go to this one. This one's from yesterday. There's a ton on this one and not as many on this one. So.
Okay.
Today is April Fool's. Took me about 4 months, but we did this one.
April Fool's? I don't remember April Fool's.
I read this. I wondered the same thing, Skully. How does the 69 work? That's the... Oh, you know why?
Well, what happened?
Last pages, maybe? 4, 5... I don't know what the fuck's going on. Maybe that's why there's so many. Wednesday SOE Cookbook, we did that one. Paused the podcast 5-minute mark, ordered 2 AK shirts.
Yeah, we did that one. I think you're double printing for some reason.
Something's up. Skid steer forks are almost worthless.
Because every one you handed to me got thrown in the trash.
When they inject babies into.
There's Grey Wolf.
Sorry, the book yeah, these are okay. So, all right, good. We're caught up. Now,
are we?
Today's Skully, the American flag was left on the moon, has been hit with solar rays for so long, it is now white, which technically makes it the French battle flag. That's that 3-page reply.
Yeah, this is probably true. I don't know because I've never been to the moon. And if you're some people around here, you probably think that we've never been to the moon either. But
good news, we've never been to the moon.
Here's an interesting story for you if you're wondering about...
But on the set in Hollywood, the flag has been fucking...
Yeah, here's the... Actually, I saw Superman. I saw the movie Superman. And when his arch nemesis fly in from another universe, they actually take the flag off of the moon and it is... Stars and Stripes.
That was a fake Superman.
So
that was kind of the pussy Superman.
The flag's still good. Interesting thing for all you moon people. I just so happened last night was looking at stories, and there is a story from NASA that they just put out yesterday, and that NASA wants to go back to the moon. So here's my thing. I say this all the time, and I told John this earlier, so he's old hat to this, but. You know, wherever Americans go, wherever we go in the world or to other planets, we like to leave trash. Like, we just like to leave trash. There's always
just too lazy to take it, or do we like to leave it?
I think that's it. There's always, when an American, you know, when Americans come off Mount Everest, there's trash. When Americans leave the moon, they leave trash. You know, we left a fucking dune buggy up there. There's a bunch of cameras, just trash. stuff that fell off the lander, just trash. We left trash all over. So NASA just put out a thing yesterday that they have decided that they want to go back to the moon. And you would think, okay, we're going to go back to the moon. What do we need to do? We're going to go up there and we're going to, I don't know, look for water or try and plant trees like the Chinese are doing, or do something. We're going to mine.
How are they planting trees? Greenhouse?
Well, what they were trying to do was see if plants would grow. So they created this. They created this thing that had
a sea monkey.
Yeah, it was kind of like a sea monkey thing. It was a plant that had a sea monkey thing that had its own soil. It had everything, and they put it out of their rover, and the stuff started to grow.
Were there people up there with it?
No, the stuff started to grow, and then they opened it, and everything died.
Of course.
I don't know what they were thinking, but so everything died. They didn't get anything. They couldn't get anything to grow on their first mission.
That's because on their Hollywood set, their oxygen was out.
Yeah, that's because on their Hollywood set didn't work. But anyways, so NASA's going back to the moon. You know, maybe they're gonna mine unobtainium, or they're gonna fucking fire that low impulse recoil rifle at the Nazis that are on the dark side. That's what you would think.
They're actually in Antarctica. They're not on
the moon. Oh, not on the moon. But no, NASA wants to go back to the moon because we left. In the 6 missions, by the way, where we landed on the moon, we left 96 bags.
How big?
I don't know. I'm guessing they're going to be small.
Are we talking like...
I mean...
doggy bag? Or are we talking like 70-gallon contractor bag?
When I hear this, that's what I view. I view like these big fucking trash bags just sitting on the moon. But anyways, they left 96 bags of poop on the moon. And they want to go back and recover the poop to see how well the poop is handling being on the moon for all these years.
They're trying to recreate Buzz Aldrin.
Maybe it could be. They're trying to get. I just want a video of a
because that's pre-alien DNA.
I want a video of an alien, in an Indian outfit, walking through the landing sites, looking at all these bags of poop, and just a single tear coming down his face.
Holy shit.
You remember that? You remember those commercials in the 70s?
No.
Oh man, in the 70s they had this Indian, and he would be in his canoe, right? And he'd be paddling down a river, and there'd be all this pollution. And then he'd get a little single tear. Or he'd be walking through the woods.
Like, give a hoot, don't pollute.
Yeah, but there'd be all this. He never said anything.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
It was just a single tear. So, anyways, they're going to go to the moon and pick up poop.
I think that's been talked a lot. I've been seeing all these memes about poop. And I'm guessing that's what it had. I've never cared to read them. Hey guys, great podcast as always. Thanks for the shout out for benchmarksignandgift.com. I'll email you about a 3D machining capabilities. Robert Levendy, best recipe of Chef, and can we see him make some? Probably not. Chef's very elusive. He's camera shy. He doesn't want you to data mine his face and find all the porn that he used to do. What do you think his best recipe, his best meal is?
What's it called? What's that thing what's that?
Tri-tip?
The tri-tip. I think the tri-tip is the best, man. The tri-tip is like, John spoils us. The reality is John spoils his employees that get to go into the kitchen. And we eat tri-tip every fucking week. And so, how long has Chef been here?
6 months at least.
6 months?
I'm always off. Like, my time goes so fucking fast.
So
I'm always... I'll be like 6 months. He's like, John, I've been here 18 months.
So every week we have a tri-tip, and not once have I been like...
He has to go to a... When Chef goes shopping on Saturday or Sunday in Nashville, Chef goes to 3 separate locations. He found a little... We couldn't find tri-tip. He found a little butcher shop owned by an old black fella, and it is in the fucking ghetto. Like, they're selling single cigarettes and shit out of that motherfucker. Half a bottle of beer you can buy.
Chef is rolling in there.
And Chef rolled up in there, and he's like, hey, can you get and they order it for him. They have a reoccurring order. Every week they order it. And Chef rolls in there and fucking buys the tri-tip, and he's developed a relationship with them. We actually get quite a bit of stuff from these guys now. And it's fucking great.
And I don't think I've ever had a piece of his tri-tip where I wasn't like, this is the... Like, I honestly...
I would have never ordered tri-tip anywhere either.
I honestly, I like, Chef, you need to move tri-tip to Friday.
3 times a day.
Because it's like a celebration of everything we've done all week.
He's been doing it Friday, which is good because then I eat it on Saturday.
Yeah, because he was doing it like Wednesdays and Thursdays, and I'm like, and then we just, and the next day we come in for some regular old chicken. You can't end the week on just regular old food when you just blew it out of the park with the tri-tip. I'm not a go out guy. Like I very rarely go to. You're not going to catch me running around Nashville going to the, the hot spots. John likes to go to the hot spots, and every fucking week he'll say, "Yeah, I ordered that thing you cook, and it was good. It just wasn't as good as yours." Like his shit is fucking. I mean,
you guys know I don't eat fucking chicken because it's for poor people. Fucking
that's
homeless
people,
motherfuckers.
Especially if it's on the bone. Gross.
But Chef makes half chicken. Holy fuck, is that good? We had it today.
Man, you get a piece of that skin off of his half chicken, and it is just holy shit.
Because here's the deal, like, so I have we've become friends with somebody that owns a very nice restaurant in Nashville, very very good restaurant. So I ordered half chicken there, and I got it, and it tasted just like it, but the crack wasn't there when you bite into the skin. That crackle, that fucking crispness. And the chef said the deal is you have to fucking plate it and serve it within 5 minutes. Once it's set there beyond 10 minutes, it's just not. It's
absorbing all the moisture again.
Yeah. The only chicken that's really good left over is KFC chicken.
Yeah, that's because it was never good in the first place.
It's better the next day. It's because the salt is mummified.
Yeah.
Best recipe chef, great podcast as always. Did Skully actually get the Unimog already?
I did not get a Unimog.
He'll get one.
I will get one, but I've had several people that are wiser and smarter than me. Like, hey man,
like everybody who said it.
You need if you need a tractor, you should get a tractor that will do exactly what you need it to do, and has a warranty. So in case something happens, and my fear was I was going to tell everybody this was my fear. I was going to tell everybody, fuck off, I'm getting the tractor I want, and then I was going to get it. And something was going to happen where said tractor I wouldn't be able to use it, like, whatever. So the fucking point would go out in the engine. And I don't know nothing about Unimogs. So that was my fear, that I was going to get it, and then I wouldn't be able to dig the... Huh?
We know a Mercedes guy. We could have him line hook it with a helicopter and fly it.
Fly it out. That would be so cool. That would be so cool to see.
Airlifted.
A Unimog parked in the Mercedes dealership, in the repair area.
I just want that Skycrane helicopter that, looks like this, like it's for moving shipping containers.
Yep.
Skully, do you have a P22? Is that like a SIG 226? What's a 225? Do you have a P225? Just had a barrel threaded for...
No, I don't. I do not have a P225.
What is it?
I don't know. At the top of my head, I'm not seeing it.
It's got to be a SIG, right? A pistol?
I'm assuming it's a SIG just because of the P225.
I agree that the bump stock shit... I agree about the bump stock shit. Any attempt on Second Amendment rights should be addressed, but it's a total novelty. I've worked as a range officer, and more often than not, people with bump stocks are hazardous idiots. Just the word... gives me the mental image of socks with sandals and 90 Camaros with faded paint. Just saying. Most of the Camaros in the United States are actually, it's a fact, they're on Indian reservations and they're on blocks.
Blocks, yes, definitely on blocks.
Episode 71, tactical flip-flops. What brand are they wearing, Skully?
What? Say again?
The Hajis. Flip-flops. What brand?
Oh, I don't know what brand, but it's fucking fast-moving brand. I don't know how they cramp their toes. They got to do some special exercise because when they go to launch, they keep them toes in those flip-flops and they fucking move out with a passion.
Have you ever seen one? Are they like tire tread and they're just making flip-flops out of old tires, or are they actually?
No, they're buying them somewhere. Yeah, I'm assuming they're coming in from Korea. Almost all the stuff that I found in Iraq, and we were in a pretty self-sufficient area of Iraq. All the stuff I found that I thought, oh, this is a cool thing that I need to take home because it's from Iraq. And then you'd find the tag in it, and it'd be like made in Korea. I'd be like, what the fuck? These people, like, I mean, I got a pretty pimp sheep herders jacket, or it's a fucking, not a jacket, but it's what they would wear when they were fucking out walking around with their sheep, and made in Korea. I found this really cool, like if you go in the houses, they have really ornate, soft, silk. Really nice blankets. Not silk, but really nice soft blankets. And we went into this place that had been blown up, and this fucking blanket was just pristine. And I'm like, they must make these motherfuckers here.
Because there's ricin all
same
over
thing, goddamn China. Well, we're immune to ricin.
I have one of them hats, you know, like a baker's hat. It's real coarse. And then I have a bunch of, somebody sent me a box of, I think it's silk, man. Like a bunch of fucking silk and stuff. And a couple prayer rugs that have the tanks and the bombers and shit on there.
Those are, the prayer rugs with the tanks and the bombers are usually out of Afghanistan. But even those, you would go to get them, and they would, you'd go to get them, the prayer rugs, and it'd be like, made in China. What the fuck?
We need an SOE prayer rug.
Yeah, we do need an SOE. If you're out there making prayer rugs,
I would like some SOE fucking doormats. Some nice doormats.
Oh yeah, some nice doormats. Yeah.
I agree about the bump stock. We did that one. Tactical flip-flops brand introducing the all-new Air Chics.
Air Chics.
Tactical hippie wear. John, a thought about gamer little brother. Something to look into is the money celebs make on Stitcher. It's an app to interact on video games live online. No shit, even UFC fighters make money from it. I don't get it either. Nintendo was the last I had. Thanks, SOE and crew. Roy and Brittany, talking about Democrats busting a spring. If you post a video feeding feral cats live rats, you'll have the WWF and what WWF? World's Wildlife Federation? That's got to be. Ninjas parachuting out of blimps to come get you and kidnap both y'all, and instead of waterboarding them killing y'all, they'll turn you into vegans and release both of you into hippie commune outside of San Francisco. So please don't do that, and like y'all podcasting gear. Then you'd have to have sex with chicks with furry armpits, and the furry armpit chicks all have stinky pussies. If you're a vegan, it's chicks with furry armpits. That's a fucking terrible end.
Yeah, that is a terrible. Why would we regress? We don't need to regress.
Well, that's what they do to us instead of killing us for feeding live rats to cats. Great podcast. I enjoy listening while uploading merchandise to eBay. Sorry, Skully. Nobody builds a plane or a ship in a day. This is a common misquote. Just think about the complexity. The true quote is the U.S. would complete a ship and several planes, maybe hundreds each day. That's what. Well, they weren't taking a day, but they were coming off the line every day. We know.
I understand how you make a plane. I also understand that they were dropping a B-24 Liberator out of that factory every single day. What that means is
there was ramp up to it.
What that means is they were actually making a plane every day. If that plane, if doesn't matter if it took 6 months to get those planes through the factory, if that plane is coming out every single day, then they're making a plane a day.
How about
same thing with the Liberty ships? Look up how we were building the Liberty ships.
We'll just add the word finishing. They were finishing a plane
every single day. There you go. Yeah, finishing. That's
awesome podcast, guys. Keep it up. I love the information you guys put out. When it comes to reloading, why do we gotta keep talking about reloading? Those guys don't get much pussy. They're reloading.
Reloading can consume a lot of time.
So does porn.
Does. So, yeah, it really does. I don't think you could reload and watch porn.
When it comes to reloading, you don't want to fuck around while you're reloading. We can't even ship the right shit to a motherfucker while somebody listens to a podcast, right?
Right.
Imagine fucking up some bullets while listening to a podcast. Like, that could kill you. Somebody gets some wrong shit, we can just send them some more shit. But when you blow that barrel in fucking pieces... when it comes to reloading, I started doing it when the guns and ammo salesman of the century, Obama, made everyone shit themselves and start buying up everything. Ammo was fuck crazy expensive, so I started saving all my brass and picking up all the good brass at the range. Bought bullets, powder primers. I could reload for nearly a quarter of the price of store. People like to collect shit. I get it. Fucking I collect all kinds of shit. People like to pick up brass. No problem with that. Think about reloading though, right? You could make powder if you were pushed to. You could fucking melt down lead. go try to make a primer. I know there's somebody that knows how to do it, but go try to make a reliable primer. If you're seriously stockpiling raw goods like that, go buy a bunch of fucking primers while you can get them, because there are some years back there where you couldn't get any fucking primers,
especially rifle.
I could reload for nearly a quarter of the price of store ammo. My thoughts now is buy the hell out of ammo while it's cheap and stock up on powder, primer, and bullets. Save all the brass from the store-bought ammo that I shoot. Then, if shit gets bad, I can just sit back and reload. I can shoot, sell, trade my reloads if need be. Thanks again, guys, for all the podcasts and positive thoughts and motivation. P.S. Hey, Skully, soda, moon pie, noodle. Laugh out loud. That shit keeps me laughing.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of stuff. But like you said, if you're stockpiling on ammunition, there has to be. It's kind of like when John talks about prepping, about how there was a point where we were just prepping. The world's gonna end. The same thing is with ammunition. You got to get to a point. You got to get to a point in your head where you understand that if for example, like I have ammo that I buy and I shoot. I just buy it and I shoot it. And then I also have ammo in a corner.
Special purpose ball and shit like that.
That is break in case of war. That's it. This pile is just in case the aliens come, I've got that ammo covered. But you have to get it in your head is how much ammo are you really going to need? How much ammo are you really going to be able to shoot? Because truth be told, if you're just one person, you can only carry so much ammo.
Not only that, think about have your shit diversified, right? If you truly are prepping and you have property or whatever, and you have a bunch of ammo, go fucking hide some of that shit in places. Even fucking bury it if you have to. Not to keep it from the government or whatever, right? Let's say we're prepping and all your fucking supplies burn down, or a tornado fucking picks your shit up, or it floods, or you get a fucking earthquake happens and fractures the United States and you can't get to your plate. Like, just have some shit. Have a plan B. Have a plan C. You might not even have to have a D, E, and F, but think it out, right? Listen to Spirko for that stuff. There's a lot of good shit about just keeping a book, having a book in every vehicle so your kids can look it up. If this happens, go here. If you're not here, meet here. You know, primary, secondary, tertiary. That applies to everything in fucking life, right? So, like Lance likes to say, plan your dive your plan. Did I have that backwards? Plan your dive your plan.
You're right.
Just have plans, man. If you've thought about it, you're a little bit ahead of fucking, everybody else when it happens.
And there's nothing wrong with knowing how to load your own ammunition.
100%, man. 100%.
If I had my system up and running, which I don't, because ammo is a little bit cheaper and my time is worth a little bit more these days.
I think as you get older too, that's it. As we get older, we have less time left. Do we want to spend our time reloading, or do you want to spend your time, doing whatever?
Yeah, I always look at it this way: is like, when people be like, "Oh, you don't change your oil? You don't change your own oil?" Yeah. It's like my time is worth more. It's worth more for me to spend the 20 minutes that it's going to take them to do my oil, check all my fluids, and do all that shit, than for me to
2 hours.
The 2 hours that it's going to be climbing underneath the vehicle,
plus,
finding the fucking pan, getting rid of the goddamn oil, go pick up the oil, make sure you got the right filter, blah blah blah. So it's just about time. But knowing how to do that is perfectly good. I mean, if my system was running, ideally this is what I would do. If I had my Dillon backup operational.
You own it? You have one?
Yeah.
650?
650. I would reload the ammo I was going to shoot, and the ammo I bought I would put away, just because that ammo the ammo that you're buying is already kind of ready to go for long-term storage. So I would store that, and I would just keep shooting the brass that I have.
They're shooting ammo right now from World War I still.
Yeah. We actually...
the primers are lacquered and shit.
We actually ran out of 50 caliber ammo in the United States. When the war broke out, when we really started shooting bullets, we ran out of 50 caliber ammunition. Fortunately, the United States military usually doesn't throw a lot of stuff away, so they had 50 caliber ammo from the 40s. They just took all that ammo, sent it to Lake City. Lake City pulled it all, repowdered it, and reprimed it. The ammo was still good. They could have actually shot that ammo. The only reason why they repowdered it and reprimered it is because in the 40s we were still using corrosive powders and corrosive ammo, or corrosive powder and corrosive primers, and that would have just fucked the gun. I mean, it wouldn't have really fucked the guns up. You just had to clean them, but it's one of those things that if you can help from shooting that old stuff.
Can't you just put ammonia down there like Windex? Doesn't that neutralize?
Yeah, you can clean.
Because isn't the 545 shit was corrosive, right?
Yeah, 545 is corrosive. The issue is like once you get that corrosive stuff on your gun, if you don't immediately address it, it will instantly turn your gun into a rust bucket. That's why we used to.
You know how to get the rust out?
Yeah, clean it.
Shoot it.
Yeah, well, shoot it. That's why in the military we have this bad habit of we used to. So people don't know when we do things now in the military, we don't understand why we do them because it's just that tradition that we've always done them, and that is the reason why you would have to clean your weapon all the time. Why your command tells you go to the armory every week, take out your weapon and clean it. The reason why is because we used to shoot corrosive primers and corrosive powders, and if you didn't do that, that gun would eventually just start rusting because of all that corrosive shit in there. Well, we don't do that anymore. So when you got guys running around nowadays that are like, I fired 50,000 rounds through my AR-15 and I haven't had to clean it. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. It's because we don't use corrosive ammo and primers anymore. If that individual would start shooting some corrosive ammo through his gun, he would have to fucking clean it because that gun.
What happened if he didn't clean it?
It would literally start to rust.
And then what?
Well, it would stop functioning properly.
So I don't even shoot. I just have guys come over and I'm like, shoot that. Shoot that target.
Well,
shoot that target. Like, I don't change my own oil. I don't even take my car to change the oil.
Ultimately, what'll happen is you'll get pitting in the barrel. And once you start pitting the barrel, you'll lose your accuracy. The accuracy will go out the window and you'll be shooting fucking 2 feet in front of you.
I don't have to clean guns.
No, I mean,
just call them and helicopter shows up with some dudes.
And you shouldn't have to because your guns are not. Now all guns shoot modern ammunition and they won't be corrosive. Unless you buy some fucking 1968 Russian shit, then it's all going to be corrosive.
Who has time to shoot guns?
I know. Who
terrible.
does?
It's terrible. Hi all. How you guys being? Saw the animals on the old video, so got a few questions.
Uh-oh. Animal questions.
How popular the Polyface Farms concept, Joel Salatin stuff in Homestead, since that's like a small town and rural? It'd be great. Salatin stuff would 100% be great. We kind of do the... What's the wood chip one? Back to Eden Garden, right? If you took all the churchy fucking religion shit out of the Back to Eden stuff, that's kind of what we do. We just bring a ton of fucking wood chips in and layer them and let them rot and become soil. And here, most green farms don't sustain themselves price-wise. You wouldn't here either. So they need a secondary income different from farming to actually sustain the green and Polyface Farm stuff. Is that the case there? If we were farming, I mean, I don't know. We've never farmed anything for profit. If you look at Joel Salatin stuff, they've got a big row house, right, full of rabbits, and then the rabbits shit on the ground, and the chickens eat all that stuff, and then they mulch it, and they make it up, and it looks awesome. I'm sure it fucking works. We're not really doing any of that. We kind of throw feed out, and the chickens shit out eggs, and we eat their eggs. That's kind of like, we don't have enough manpower here to do the garden shit. Really, I should set it up where we have, 4 more dudes. And as part of your job, you spend an hour every morning. You get here at 7 o'clock, and 4 dudes spend an hour out on the property doing that shit, and then come in here at 8 o'clock and start working. In that manner, we could definitely do it. But we've kind of, as the animals got older, we haven't replenished them. So, I mean, we still have, I think there's 3 rabbits up there instead of 12 rabbits. We're down to probably 14 chickens instead of 50 chickens. We've still got geese and ducks and all that stuff, but it's not the focus right now. We did it to see how to do it, and we did it for a long time, and we've kind of just let it go by the wayside. We definitely have the infrastructure for it. We have all the equipment on hand. All we have to do is replenish the animals. So if it came time to do that, or we found ourselves with extra manpower and decided to do that within, don't know, 4 weeks, we could be back producing all that shit. A rapper named Nipsey Hussle got shot. I am an information junkie. My news feeds are full of some dude who rhymes named Nipple being shot. This is peak clown word, fellas. Okay, John. Big Prepper says,
Was Nipsey the guy that got shot in L.A.?
Yes, Nipsey Hussle. Great podcast as always. I definitely hope it doesn't end at 100. Man, that's the biggest comment.
Why are you worried about
Here's the
100?
crazy shit. All the dudes people coming in. We had a ton of people here this week. Every one of them is like, man, I hope the podcast doesn't end at 100.
I think it's just because
I'm like, oh, who are you commenting on there? Who are you that comments? He's like, oh, I've never commented. Well, then what the fuck do you care if you're worried about it ending at 100? If you want the podcast to continue, fucking comment.
Good comments, too. I don't need to know about
Hopefully
Nipsey
John
Dipsey.
loses count and Skully forgets to read the erase board outside. John and Skully, just listened to episode 73. I had the same kind of culture shock moving from San Diego to rural Pennsylvania, where stores close around noon Saturday till sometime Monday. I believe, and it's weird, there's shit here that's fucking closed on Monday, too.
Yeah.
I believe there is a law here in Pennsylvania that dealerships can't sell cars on Sunday. I've started to think business owners here don't like money. That's it, exactly. Like, what the fuck? Do you fucking hate money? Why are you in business? I've started to think business owners here don't like money. I worked as a Poway Unified School District bus driver, where we ran some GNC buses, and if those fuckers dropped to 500 psi of fuel, they just stop, similar to what happened to Skully in the propane van. Thanks for doing a podcast that's educational on some crazy subjects. It's like the old breakfast videos every day. Just an FYI on CBD for anyone out there, since it came up on the previous episode. CBD at anything above 80% will begin to crystallize. So CBD oil, you see 100% CBD, right? It can't be 100% CBD because it has to be in an oil carrier. Is that not correct? As for Poway, we used to fish at Poway Lake. We used to ride dirt bikes out at Poway Lake back in the old days. Spent a lot of time there in Rancho Bernardo and Poway. My cousins lived there.
Just before I left, they did a bond. They did a bond to build a new high school, and even before the bond was done, they were talking about. I want to say it's the first. I may be wrong, but I want to say it was the first school bond that was close to $1 billion.
Holy shit.
They were talking about how that there is no fucking way
that it'll
ever get paid back.
So there was also General Dynamics had a rocket test facility
out there in Poway.
We used to go out there in the train tracks and they'd load the rock. We never saw it, like it was pretty well closed, but there was still security out there. Yeah. Some of the best fishing we ever did were on those little fucking water holes by the highway there. Rural eastern Pennsylvania. It was the 15 bridge, Rancho Bernardo exit maybe, and there was another bridge underneath there that was abandoned. It was probably built a bigger bridge. Yep. We used to rappel off there all the time. Little Gay Rich, as a matter of fact. Rural eastern Pennsylvania here. We still have some blue laws and horse shit on the roads. It's a fucked up place. Hillbilly, what can I say? Every point spot on. Abortion survivor 556 says, if people had to kill their own baby after birth, the debate over post-birth abortion wouldn't exist. Instructing a doctor with killing your child removes you from the morality of it all. That being said, if you are woman enough to kill your baby at birth yourself, I have no problem with it. I'm just tired of people wanting to use abortion as an easy way out of passing the buck to some poor doctor placed in a situation he might not want to be in. Okay, so then along those lines, you don't have a problem with abortion clinics because they're there for profit and nobody's making them do it, correct?
I would assume so. I would assume that's
I mean, I'm. You smell onions?
No, not really. I would assume that what we're talking about there, though, was the laws that they're passing where doctors will have to do it.
John and Skully, would you please tell us more about Lance dancing the spy rig when y'all would go out to places like McCabe's and Purple People Eater while in Oceanside? Well, Weston, you already know that story, or you wouldn't know that we were at McCabe's and the Purple People Eater when it happened.
McCabe's. Oh, God, McCabe's.
McScabies. John was a bouncer over there.
McCabe's was such a... I wonder if it's still there, man. It was such a great place to go. Trailer park right across the street.
It was all made of like plywood.
Yeah, it was all made of plywood.
John, you said that Lance would get out on the floor and just start spinning in circles, knocking people. That's true. While wearing Billy Bob teeth. It was like, that was his alter ego. Lance didn't put on a costume. He put in Billy Bob teeth. And that's when it came out. When I went to San Francisco for Fleet Week, we went to a karaoke bar. I would jokingly tell people when we sailed back to base that I got out on the dance floor and started spy rigging. Yeah, you already know the story, man.
You got to do
that.
Bring the tradition.
Bump stocks were actually invented to assist the disabled in shooting. A side effect is rapid fire on occasion. This executive order reaffirms the dictatorship we live in, where the dictator is voted in every 4 years. It's a little worse than that. The dictator is actually the dictator. They just put a different fucking puppet show on every 4 years.
And that's not true about the bump stock. The
yeah,
bump
I
stock
thought that was the thing.
You're thinking of the brace. The bump stock was not invented for handicapped people. The bump stock was invented because you can take your thumb and you can put it in your belt loop and you can hold your AR-15 down here and you can make your AR-15 fire very fast.
Kind of full auto.
But it's dumb, right? Because you got your thumb in the belt loop. So the guys that were doing this were like, hey, couldn't we make it so I could just hold it up here and do it? That's what the bump stock is. It's not... That's just like, you know, when they were talking about the band, the smart people were like, okay, well, does that mean we have to register our belt loops? Because that's how it starts. You can go bump stock. I wouldn't recommend doing it with a pistol, but you can bump fire anything using just put your thumb in your belt loop, put your finger on the trigger, and hold the rifle forward, and your rifle will fire just like you have a bump stock.
This executive order reaffirms the dictatorship we live in, voted in every 4 years. Congress don't even declare war any longer. The president does. This order is a true danger to the Second Amendment, no matter how you feel about the bump stock itself in the state, where work is a requirement at prison institutions for profit. One could argue it's modern slavery and a reason for our ridiculous prison population.
I 100% agree with you on what you said with all that stuff. I think it is a dangerous precedent, and President Obama is the one that started it with doing legislation through executive order, but his executive orders got destroyed by Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump's executive order will be destroyed by the Supreme Court. They will be like, that's not how it works. Congress needs to get off their fucking ass and create a law. I mean, that is why you have to understand, Dianne Feinstein is 100% opposed to what Donald Trump did. Not because he did something wrong against the Second Amendment. It's because he basically took them out of the fight. They can't do a law until this gets seen in court, and chances are it's going to get thrown out at the Supreme Court. Just like the Ninth Circuit Court just threw out the ban on high-capacity magazines in California. It takes time for these things to work through the court system, but for the most part, when it gets to where it needs to go, the decisions are probably better than if we let AOC write the law. And yes, Trump is an asshole for even doing it, but he may have created something that really doesn't mean anything in 5 years.
So, he goes on to say, Edward Bentley replies, the president did this to move it away from Congress into the courts.
Oh, there we go.
In 6 months, it will be declared unconstitutional and prevent Congress from enacting any laws against the bump stock. Also, I don't need a bump stock to produce the same effect. As for the disabled aspect, forward any info you have to the GOA. I am sure it would make a compelling argument in court. That's Edward. Are you really Edward Bentley? He just said exactly what you said.
I am not Edward Bentley, but Edward Bentley, you are a smart individual.
Freedom Inc. comes back and says, Edward Bentley, if you really believe that, you are a truly ignorant. The courts have already turned down an injunction. I guess you believe he said, take the guns now, due process later, and is now pushing a national red flag law for the same reason. Open your eyes. Quit letting the extreme left blind you to what's in your face. Trump is just like them. He was a Democrat until he ran for office. For 72 years, he was a Democrat. It's sad to sit back and watch both sides be indoctrinated from who they follow while they turn against their fellow citizens. You all are tearing this country apart with your sheepish ways. Open your eyes and educate yourself. Own who you are and quit following the mainstream of the line you follow. It's sad. It's truly sad. Funny, most of the Jews in Germany thought Hitler was great. They even went as far as to lead other Jews to the cattle cars. Then, in time, they themselves were killed. You and those with your thoughts are exactly like the Jews who lead the others to the slaughter. Read the Anti-Federalist, specifically 21, 22, 23 from Brutus. Maybe it will open your eyes. Then read the Federalist Papers. Again, educate yourself and quit following others. Okay, with that said, freedom, whatever, what the fuck are you doing about it?
Yeah, where's your revolution? I don't see you on the news.
Like, for real, like, you guys fighting amongst yourselves, it's not going to fucking change anything except you're fighting amongst yourselves. Like, what's your solution? Okay, let's say everybody reads that and everybody agrees with you. Then what? Like, what are you doing? Because usually, not always, but usually the loudest dude is the dude most incapable of doing anything because he doesn't even have his shit together. He doesn't fucking read or write for shit. I mean, obviously you read and you can write. But it's usually a big fat dude. Like, every time I meet one of these dudes that's ready for a revolution, like, we've gone. We've been at the prepper conventions. We've been to the fucking meetings. We wanted to see what this shit was about. It's a bunch of dudes in fucking scooters with fucking 12 ham radios. Like, if he'd have had some ham radios, he might have if he'd have spent some of that money on a car, he wouldn't have just rode the bus. Like, we actually watched a motherfucker get off the bus. He's the biggest fucking pit bull on the internet. Gets off the bus in some overalls and has 10 fucking ham radios, doesn't own a vehicle. Like, couldn't fight his way out of a paper sack. Like, maybe that's not you, but it usually is those dudes.
And you're just barking down the wrong tree. You are the one that doesn't know how things work. There's nothing that we do in this country anymore that has anything to do with the Federalist Papers. I don't know why everybody keeps bringing those up. There's nothing. It's if it's not interpreted by the Supreme Court, then it doesn't mean anything. Well, there's nobody that's going to go to the Federalist Papers tomorrow and go, "Oh shit, I forgot those guys wrote that."
It's the same guys that are like, "You don't have to pay taxes."
Yeah.
Show me where it says you have to pay taxes.
It's the same.
Right, I agree with you. Nowhere can you show me where it has to be paid. But I know that they will knock on your door and burn your fucking house down when you don't pay it.
I understand your zeal, and it's great that people understand what the founding fathers actually intended. But the founding fathers are all dead, and unless you, freedom, are going to start the revolution, then everything that you just said was a waste of time. Just a fucking waste of time.
Freedom Inc. Bentley replies, Freedom Inc., fuck you. I'm not hiding behind a fictitious name. I live every day with communist regulations concerning firearms. I believe the NRA, GOA, GOSD, GOC, and any other organization should push every new law to the Supreme Court. Here in California, we are faced every year with unconstitutional laws that need to be fought. 20 years in the U.S. Navy. I believe in my oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies. So unless you have picked up a rifle and stood the watch, I don't really care what you think. I believe in the Constitution, which includes the 3 separate but equal branches of government. We need to fight at the ballot box. If we don't, we will lose the Second Amendment. Instead of attacking me, get outside, join the Second Amendment rally, send messages to the president every week, and same for your Congress rep. Weston says, John and Skully, SMF or SNG? What's the application? Are you walking around in an office?
If you're talking,
or do you want to use it for field work?
Yeah, if you're talking everyday carry, you want an SMG/CC.
I have a Strider Microtech, but it's fucking even a little bigger than an SMF.
Yeah, if you want everyday carry, I suggest an SMG/CC. It's a little bit smaller than an SMF, 33% smaller.
What do you got?
I don't have anything on me right now. And it's it's got nice contour grip, so when you put it in your pocket and shit, it's not tearing your pocket apart. If you get a couple of the other ones, it'll fucking rip your pocket apart if you're using it for everyday carry.
He says, I rock an SMF every day in civilian clothes, but this is week 2 of using my SMF at work despite the saltwater environment. Warren Tippett, he's talking about antique gas masks for kids that look like Mickey Mouse. I think it's a collector thing. They are expensive. Just look up child's gas mask on eBay. You'll find them if you really want one. Man, wish I was still had my Tegus. They would tear some rats up. I had a black and white Tegu and a golden Tegu, and they were neat to look at, but you couldn't touch them, motherfucker. The black and white Tegus, when they get bigger, they're a little more docile. But that yellow Tegu, man, it was like dealing with a cat with razor blade taped to its feet that didn't want you to hold it. Like, it would scratch you and fucking bite you and shit all over you. It would tear up some fucking mice and rats, though.
That must have been the snake you had in the apartment. Because that snake, those fucking snakes, man. Every time I got near the cage, wow!
No, it was a lizard, a really big lizard. It's
Fucking
thick iguana that wants to fuck you up more.
What's the biggest snake you have now?
Oh, I don't have. No, I do have a pretty good sized boa. It's probably 10 feet, maybe.
10 feet?
Maybe.
Really?
Tipped it. Well,
it looks bigger than that.
One of them Retex upstairs in here is probably 12. But I mean, it doesn't look big. You know, it's fucking skinny. It's like a T-Rex.
I was just thinking longest.
It's like a high metabolism fucking velociraptor.
Yeah.
The longest is probably a retic upstairs. There's a few of them.
What's the biggest one you've ever had? Didn't you have a
22 feet?
22. It that white Burmese?
Yeah, Burmese. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were in Tirisana, we actually got it out and let it stretch out on the driveway, or we kind of stretched it out. It sat there for a minute, but it was longer than the driveway, which was 22 feet. It was from the asphalt to the edge of the garage at Mom's house.
How long would that snake in California there? How long would that snake survive if you would have took it out back and just let it go? How long do you think it would have survived out there?
Tecolote Canyon, right along the 52 there, where the bridge is all overpass. There is a population. There are Burmeses and boas living down there that are a pretty decent size. Like, they've been breeding and shit. They were there fucking 20 years ago. Like,
is there because of where we're at? Is there a certain point where the snake is too big?
A big snake like that, it's going to have to eat something big. I mean, but it could live easily on rabbits. But I mean, it could also take, coyotes and shit like that.
Yeah.
Dog size. They're eating fucking people's pets and shit. It's how
Cats.
they're getting caught. I was on the call list for the San Diego Reptile Society, the Herpetological Society for the San Diego Zoo. So people like, hey, there's a giant alligator in my fucking swimming pool. We never did see an alligator. It was always a monitor lizard. But there were alligators in the Santee lakes there. Santee, the river there.
Yeah.
San Diego River, going through Mission Trails Park. There was an alligator in there. Pictures of it and shit.
Yeah, I think I actually remember them talking about going after it.
Yeah, they were always going after it.
Yeah.
But we'd go. I was on
and
the
that's
call
just
list.
from people, guys.
I was on the call list for big lizards and snakes.
It's just for people flushing them down their toilets and shit.
Letting them go.
Letting them go.
All right, I got a super pee.
Oh, he's got a super pee. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Send more comments.
It's a weird one. There's fucking that one's a little slower. Maybe we posted it late.